What's going on YouTube? We are back with another video. This time it is going to be a red-blue Hirudegarn deck profile that I used to get second place at my store preliminary and secure my regionals invite for the July regionals. I ended up losing to Chad, can't pronounce his last name, he's from Mass, but he plays a Connecticut local, with Peter. Also can't pronounce his last name, Peter O. He's a judge. A lot of you guys probably know him. I'm bad with last names and I don't want to butcher them, so I just leave him alone. So I ended up going 4-1 overall. Like I said, I lost to Broly. Game 3, going into their 3 energy, I was baking on him not drawing Tragic Awakening. I had Zen-o'd. If he drew it, he won. If he didn't draw it, I won. He ended up drawing. It's all good. We both got our invite anyway. We were both pretty much guaranteed our invite, so I wasn't stressing the match. I just wanted to try and close it out just because that's a harder matchup, so obviously I want to try and win it. But I'm glad that I played it in the finals, got to learn it a little bit more. So we're just going to get straight into the deck. So I use the Hirudegarn leader, obviously. So the reason I chose Hirudegarn as my Chantag Zen-oh leader is it has access to Senzu Bean and Unyielding Trunks to untap on the offense, which allows you to Chantag Zen-oh earlier if you need, and also filters cards so you see more cards and puts cards in the drop so your minus Killy zone is pretty much always active. Also on the flip side, it's probably the best leader post Zen-oh. This card is just insane after Zen-oh. In grindy games, you're drawing a card, they're losing a card, and then they either take a life or combo, so it just helps you get so much advantage over the course of the game, and it's an untapped 2 leader. Getting right into the deck, my list, it was pretty much based on Antonio, can't pronounce his last name, from Rhode Island. He top 8'd the Springfield ARG though. He sent me his list that he got his invite with his prelim with the week prior, and then I just changed it up a little bit for some choices that I figured weren't ideal or could have been a little bit better. So I played 2 Planet M2. You obviously have turns where you untap energy, so you want to be able to kill Whis and Borgos. You want to be able to kill Black Mass Sand, and this card just applies a ton of pressure as well on leaders. So even if you Zen-oh before you flip, you can still attack with your leader to filter more cards and like Planet M2 to put pressure on them and stuff. And this also is just insane versus Skillless Goku, which is super played deck in the meta. So that was a great card. On color, obviously. 4 Intensifying Power Trunks. This card's pretty much a staple in any Chantag Zen-oh deck. It allows you to Zen-oh early, and it also is a self-awakener that can apply pressure with crit. So the card is just pretty much almost a staple in red. I don't want to say it's a staple because I guess there are some red decks that don't play it, but pretty much a staple in red. 4 Chain Attack Trunks. So this is obviously the main card in the deck to play Zen-oh. You can evolve this over him for 2 to save energy and do it earlier. If you go second and you're playing it versus like Victory Strike and you need to do it a turn earlier just to make sure you don't get killed on their 4 energy turn, you can do that. And there's also a few more bodies you can play with him if you don't have Zen-oh or if you just want to apply pressure in different ways. Overall, this card is obviously crucial to the deck, so you play 4, and it's just super, super good. Another pretty much red staple. Almost any red deck plays this card. 4 Zen-oh. Some of my teammates suggested 3. I just like to see 4. I like 4 because if I see too many, I can just charge one. Having 1 blue energy is fine anyway for Senzu Bean and Dimension Magic. And then also I can pitch it for my leader effect. Or Hoi, so I was fine with playing 4. There was one situation where I wish it was a red card instead of a Zen-oh, but that was just because my hand was 2 minus Killy zones and another Zen-oh and the 2 Trunkses, so I didn't really have a card to charge. But I charged a Zen-oh obviously, but it delayed me doing my play, but that was the only time it ever came up. You just definitely want to guarantee that you see this. This is the main point of the deck right now. It just interrupts pretty much every deck in the format right now. Extremely, extremely powerful combo, especially with a leader like Hirudegarn. 2- Achilles on the main deck. So Antonio didn't main deck this. I chose to main deck this just because I didn't want to just pretty much just lose to any Bloodlust deck, because obviously they know I'm playing Zen-oh, they're just going to leave Bloodlust up. And you're forced to have 2 chain attacks and try and evolve one, let them Bloodlust it, and then like Sensu Bean or evolve to untap the red and evolve again in Zen-oh. And then obviously most people don't have 2 yellows up and 2 Bloodlust, so that's usually the play you have to do if you don't have Achilles on. But I just chose to main deck it to avoid losing game 1. And if I played versus a non-counterplay deck, like a green, red, or black deck, I could just side deck this out easily. 3 Saiyan Kaba, it's another Self-Awakener, and it's a 1-mana double striker, so it can apply a ton of pressure early games to slower decks or like Wish decks, and late game it can just close the game out for a 1 energy double striker. I thought 3 was a pretty good number. Jordan Markle told me, I think, that his friend or teammate Nick was playing 2 at the time, and then another one of my teammates suggested 4. I just went to 3. I think 4 might have been a little heavy in some situations, but there were some situations where I definitely wanted to see it and I didn't. But I think 3 was just overall a good number, since you have a decent amount of Self-Awakeners and a decent amount of decks in the meta attack anyway. 2 Bodyguard Legic. This card was alright. Eric Hill shared his deck with me, and that he used at Anime Next in the middle of my prelim. So originally I was going to compare it before I went to my prelim. He ended up responding in my prelim, which is fine. And we ended up playing pretty much the same exact deck for his event. In my event, we ended up on almost the same list. I think one of the only real difference was he didn't play Legic, he played an extra of the next 2 cards. So he played an extra copy of the next 2 cards instead of Legic, but that was like pretty much the only significant change. I don't think it really matters that much. I thought Legic was alright. A lot of the time it was energy, but in certain situations it was a free attack or a blocker. And it's just red, which you need. 2 Digging Deep versus decks like Shenron. This deck card is insane. If you have this card out, you can attack twice with it, go to 4 life, chain Zen-oh, awaken, untap 2, and then have that have your leader effect post Zen-oh and stuff. So this can single-handedly have you self-awaken if you don't have like multiple Trunks and Kabas and stuff, and they're not attacking you. Oops. And it's also pretty good post Zen-oh because you can just choose to take 1 life and still have 2 20k swings. So just really good card. Gets around Crisis Crusher if they are main decking it as well. It's playable off chain attack if you are going with an aggressive strategy. 2 burst attacks. So Eric chose to play 3 Digging Deep, 3 burst attack, no Legic. Antonio played 3 burst attack as well, and he really liked this card. I might up this to 3. Digging Deep wasn't that useful. When I played this was really good. So I might up this to 3 and end up cutting Legic, I'm not sure. Or maybe cutting down Digging Deep to 1. I'm just not a big fan of 1-ofs, that's why I have 2. This card is really good post Zen-oh, really good in grindy games. You can attack, combo a bunch of cards, down to 4 or down to 5 cards to play this. So it's you have 4 cards and swing, draw back up to 6 cards. Attack with your leader, you have 7, and they have 1 less, so it's really, really good, especially post Zen-oh. And you can play it with chain attack. 3 Hidden Power E Supreme Kai, so you have a few critical bodies like Burst Attack and this Intensifying Power Trunks. But the main point of this card is just to close out the game, because the deck doesn't have a lot of natural double strikers like you have Kaba and a few others that we're going to get into, but for the most part you don't have a ton of natural double strikers. So post Zen-oh, this allows you to close out the game. And it's on color, 10k. 4 Unbreakable Sengoku. On color, 10k that replaces itself. A lot of times it's energy or a pitch, just because you need battle cards with pitch, you need red energy. But when you do combo with it, obviously it's replacing itself, so it's a great defensive card, great offensive card. It's really good in the deck. And you need 10ks. You can't play all 5ks. 4 Foreseeing Hit. This is pretty much the best card post Zen-oh. And additionally, if you don't have Zen-oh, you can just play this and like stop, like, you can't rip Victory Strike, but you can just rip their Height of Masteries and stuff so they can't swap into Height of Mastery and like stall them out a turn. So that's really good. And you can also use minus Achilles Zone to protect Foreseeing Hit to make sure that it's going to resolve. So this card is probably my favorite battle card. It's absolutely incredible. Post Zen-oh in this deck, it's just ridiculous. 2 Scientist Foo. So you don't build an insane warp, and you need at least you have to, if you minus Achilles Zone, that's going to remove 2 of the cards, well 3 of the cards, and it's going to replace itself. So you got to minus 2 cards in your warp or drop. So you need to be able to only play enough blacks, or you don't want to keep drawing blacks because you need enough red and blue. And you pretty much want to see this post Zen-oh almost every time. But before you Zen-oh, you almost never need to see this. So I just chose to play 2. I believe Antonio had 3, but since I chose some main deck minus Achilles Zone, I cut this back to 2. But this was the overwhelming choice in the main deck because it's 1 energy, 25k, double strike, and draws 2. So post Zen-oh, it's just absolutely ridiculous. We're getting into the small blue package. 1 Intensifying Power Trunks. Pretty much a staple and aggressive blue decks because it allows you to continue your plays while putting on pressure to your opponent. And so for this, it allows me to, with like 2 energy, if I have 2 on my turn 2, I could, if I have 2 red, I can play Trunks, attack, uses effect obviously, unyielding, so it's 20k crit, so they're most likely going to crit, and then evolve, because I untap the red I used to play him, and go into Zen-oh that turn. So it allows you to do stuff like that where you can Zen-oh on turn 2 in situations that you need to. So that's like pretty good versus aggressive strategies like Broly that helped me when I went second versus Green Broly because they had already like beat the crap out of me. And if I had seen Kai, I could have killed them that turn, but I didn't, or like a cab or something. So I needed pretty much to use my Zen-oh combo to try and reset the board and reset his hand, and then hope to draw better. But like I said, he had the Tragic Awakening. But this pretty much allowed me to do that line of play and just not die. 3-Dimension Magic. I chose to play 3 instead of 4 because a lot of times you don't charge a blue that early, but 4 might be right because I don't know, I really do like negates. So for the most part, how I played it for the prelim, it was a lot of times just a Sparking Negate, because even if you do untap, it's pretty much going to replace itself. You don't really ever have 2 blues until like late in the game if you charge dead cards. But just as a Sparking Negate, it was really good. I might find room for a 4th copy. 4 Sensu Beans. This allows you to extend your plays and do additional Zen-oh plays. So you can play this, evolve into this, and then if they Cold Bloodlust, you can attack Sensu Bean, untap, tap the blue, untap the 2 reds that you used to play, or evolve into that, and evolve into a second one to still continue your Zen-oh play and reset the game. So that's a way to circumvent Bloodlust as well if you don't have minus Achilles Zone. So that's another reason why I like blue, because it gives you additional ways to guarantee that your Zen-oh is going to resolve, which is obviously the point of the deck. And the last card, 4 Hoi. It's like the 2nd best super combo in the game behind Paragus, or I guess 3rd best behind Paragus and Shugesh. Allows you to just ditch any dead card, any extra card, any Zen-oh that you need or you don't need, and just draw 2 cards. And it's pretty easy to self-awaken, as we main deck 9 self-awakeners, and a lot of, like I said, a lot of decks in the format currently are forced to attack, like Janemba, Yellow Broly. Green Broly is just an aggressive deck, so those decks are obviously going to attack you anyway and help you with your awakening, so you don't even need to draw that many self-awakeners. Getting to the side deck, excuse me. I played two-dimensional Banisher Fu versus the Green Broly matchup. This card was incredible in the matchup. I actually thought about main decking this just to help that Game 1 matchup, but Scientist Fu is just so powerful that I don't know if it's worth main decking this versus the other matchups. But versus Green Broly, this card is like the card. Super, super good. Trunks Power Overseeing Time. You put this in versus Janemba, or I guess anything else that you want to be able to pick up extra cards from your drop. So this allows you to pick up like a Hoi, or if you're going for game, or allows you to pick up a Chain Attack or a Zen-oh or something like that. If you need a Chain Zen-oh, allows you to pick up a Foreseeing hit. So this card is just really good all around, but the primary use for it is you take out Scientist Fu versus Janemba and you put in this. So instead of drawing 2 cards, you're going to be able to pick up your Chain Zen-oh. Or a Kai or something and just apply a ton of pressure, something like that. 3 TN, 1 cost, 15k body that shuts off their untapping versus Janemba or any other blue or red leader. Primarily Janemba, but really any blue or red leader you'll probably put this in against, just because you don't need my Achilles Zone versus those decks anyway. So you can easily just take out my Achilles Zone, put in this card. Still off color, but it's a 5k combo and a body that you can play for 1 energy. 2 time control. Cronoa. Shugesh is obviously annoying, especially since you kind of have an aggressive deck, but you have Chain Zen-oh as well, so you can reset hands with Chain Zen-oh, and you can dig with your leader. So I felt like 2 was fine, especially for my prelim. If I was going into a bigger event and I felt like Shugesh would be more prevalent, which I don't think it's really super prevalent in the meta in general. So I think 2 is just a safe copy, considering that you need room for other side deck cards. Third copy of Planet M2. So post side, a lot of people are going to put in Crisis Crusher, which is obviously the best card versus this deck early, since I have a lot of early game attackers. And Black Mass Saiyan. Black Mass Saiyan is incredible versus deck. So this allows me to just easily kill those, easily kill Borgos, Wii, stuff like that. So a third copy. 3 Haru-Harus. I'm not sure if 3 Haru-Haru is necessary going forward. I might cut it to 2. Obviously this card is insane with Chain Attack. You can play Chain Attack for 4, play this, untap the 4, get 2 free bodies, and attack, you know, continue your plays. You can just play a 1-drop, play this, and it's still free. A bunch of other plays. It helps you get cards in drought. Helps you get cards for minus Achilles Zone, and you can also minus Achilles Zone to make sure that they don't Bloodlust it if you're playing against a yellow or green matchup that plays Bloodlust. Third copy of minus Achilles Zone versus any Bloodlust deck, you're going to want a third copy. So versus those decks, you put in the third copy. Versus the non-Bloodlust decks, you take out the 2 in your main deck for cards like TN, Trunks, even. You can just put an additional copy of Fu or whatever, still 5k combo. Can be removal if you need, because you don't have hard removal in the deck. And the last card is Digging Deep Vegeta, just another copy if you're playing against like a Wish Leader, or you wanted to just go aggressive, or you're afraid of Crisis Crusher, something like that. I pretty much need a 15th card. I guess it could have been a Cronoa, could have been, I guess, a range of other cards, could have been a third Fu, could have been whatever. I didn't side it in, but that was the 15 cards that I chose to side for my prelim. Going forward, I think that Hirudegarn and Chain Zen-oh decks in general are going to be really powerful strategies that we're going to see, or are going to see a lot of play again, because pretty much every deck in the format gains a ton of advantage or sets up, and you can just completely reset the board, reset their setup, and just have a better game post Zen-oh. I'd say Green Broly is probably the hardest matchup for the deck right now, so it's really finding ways to beat Green Broly more consistently in the main deck, so that you have at least a 50-50 win ratio versus every deck in the format. But for the most part, I felt super comfortable versus everything that I played versus at my prelim, and pretty much everything that there is in the meta right now. So until next time, I'm out. Peace.